Hey everybody, Vivian here with a tutorial using Scraps of Darkness's July Gypsy Summer kit. Here I have tags that came in the base kit and a rubber stamp that you can mount. The label that comes inside the package I think is great. It's probably made for mounting, but you can mount that onto an acrylic block. I just used the packaging that came inside because it's a nice thick sort of credit card stiffness. And I'm using the Stampers Big Brush pens from the Color add-on to add some stamping to these tags that are going to be sort of a feature on a layout that I'm going to make for you guys today. These tags have a really nice grain to them. So they're little lines that go vertically and horizontally like linen. And that adds a nice sort of aged feeling to the stamping we're going to do. This stamp is manufactured by a company called Deep Red, and it's got some really pretty flourishes and blossoms in it. And it's more of a filled in stamp, so the Stampers Big Brush pens that I'm drawing along the surface are going to create images that are already filled in as opposed to line stamps. And stamping this way with the big brush pens and mixing the colors on the surface of the stamp, I think works better with these filled in graphic stamps rather than the line stamps that you would color in later. I do some repeat stamping as well just to create some extra texture and a little bit of extra grunge. And I'm going to bring these up close to the camera so you can see close up what the stamping looks like. The nice thing about these Stampers Big Brush pens is that they are made with India ink. And I use them a lot when I guest designed for Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft a couple of months ago. And they have beautiful, vibrant colors. And they are permanent and light fast as well. I distressed the edges a little bit with some distress ink that I had on hand in Vintage Photo. And here you can see what the stamping looks like. So you can use a single color, you can create kind of a gradient depending on what colors you have. And I like to be really messy about it and just let all the colors mix. So this is where the technique that I want to share with you with Papercrafter Crayons comes into play. Just crush up that whatever surface you're using. If it's a card or a tag, just crush it up. So you want a material that will hold up to this type of abuse. I think crushing it up like this into a tight ball creates ridges that are a lot more organic and natural than if you were going to try to create those patterns just drawing them freehand. So we're going to use the Papercrafter crayons that came in the Creativity add-on. Aren't they beautiful? They're crayons for adults. And they come in a nice barrel, and you push out the tip. See if we can focus in here a little bit. Push out the tip using the little device at the base. Nice and clean. And so these are made out of wax like crayons. I'm going to use these in conjunctions with a little mini iron from Clover that you can get at any major craft supply store. A lot of quilters use this, I guess. And I have it on the high setting, and I'm just melting the Papercrafter crayon onto the surface of a little mini iron, and then drawing it along all those ridges that we created very randomly by just crushing up our surface into a ball. This tool is definitely not for children, especially this particular model, because as you can see, the metal heats up. And if you're not careful, you will do what I have done on several occasions and burn your finger by accidentally touching the metal. There may be other models on the market that cover all of those metal areas that your fingers might touch. I'm not sure, but this is the one that I have, and it was readily available at my craft store. So I just did one tag with the pure yellow. You can do it with a mix of colors over the same ridges. You can also do what I'm just about to show you, which is once you have some ridges colored with your Papercrafter crayons, re-ball that thing up again and create a whole different set of ridges. So you can color in the new ridges with a new color. So I used a combination of yellow, orange, pink, and in the end I added in a color that's more like purple that came in the package of Papercrafter crayons in our creativity add-on. I love these things. And I just wanted to take a second, if you haven't seen Driha's video, her first video using this kit for Papercrafter crayons, you definitely should take a look at that. She did a beautiful drawing with the Papercrafter crayons and then shows you how to use them as a resist. A very funky, very eye-catching effect. So here I'm using the purple and I'm using it along the edges. So ultimately, I mean, I got to show you guys how to do the stamping with the Stampers Big Brush pens, but ultimately you're not going to see much of that in the final effect, which is often what happens with our mixed media projects. Using this type of technique, those ridged areas are now covered with Papercrafter crayon, which is basically waterproof and will act as a resist. So any type of water media that we add later will soak into all the areas that are not covered with Papercrafter crayons. And you'll see in a second, I added some mist in, let me show you close up what that looks like so far. It's kind of like the vascularity that I create with my hot glue gun, in a sense. It's just very natural looking. And it takes all the thought out of creating those natural looking patterns. So at this point, I added in some spritz to create some really funkadelic color combinations and effects. And as you can see, the mist is not being absorbed where we have the Papercrafter crayon resist. I used actually the Sapphire Shimmers mist that came in our previous month's kit, in June's Firecracker kit. And I'm also adding in some other vibrant colors and trying to create some mixing on the tags. So some yellow and some blue to create a little bit of green. I added into the mix a vibrant yellow, I believe, from Delusions, and a darker blue from Tattered Angels. I think those primary colored mists are really great to have on hand because you can mix them to create a whole bunch of other colors. So this is what they look like so far. You can see just a little bit of the stamping that I did, but what I ended up doing once all the wet stuff was done was I added in some more of the same stamp at the very end because I did want to see some of those patterns a little bit more distinctly. And what you can also do is go in with a sanding block once you're all done to reveal a little bit of what's underneath. So you can sand off some of the top layers of Papercrafter crayon to reveal some of the colors underneath, which might be another layer of Papercrafter crayon or the paper surface. I just wanted to show you really quickly another project using the exact same technique with Papercrafter crayons to create a lace cap hydrangea effect. So all those colors on top, that's all Papercrafter crayon and a little bit of sanding. And I did that on a piece of cardstock from Coordinations and then just paper punched those pieces using an ornament punch to create the individual petals on my lace cap hydrangeas. So you can use this technique for a whole variety of different effects. And the surface, once you've applied the Papercrafter crayon, will have a little bit of a nice sheen to it because it's wax. So I just wanted to show you another example of what you can do with this technique. I tied these tags with some iridescent yellow organza and then burned them a little bit with my heat tool. I assembled all my pieces on a very basic layout. I did want to show a lot of those tags, so I arranged them on the layout in a way so that they could be very well seen and not hidden. And I added some journaling on a doily shape. Those yellow polka dotted doily shapes are a Sizzix die cut. And that little butterfly piece also came in the kit. Very pretty. And I love the sentiment, perfectly imperfect. This Rudbeckia hirta, which is also known as brown-eyed Susan, this is a variety called Irish Eyes. And a few of those blossoms opened up in sort of clamshell fashion. It was very, very cool to watch and very attractive in the garden. I was always drawn to the oddness of them. Before I called this project finished, I also added some chipboard hexagons that I had gessoed and then covered with some gold gelato that came in the base kit. So I just drew the gelato on top and then misted with a little bit of water to blend it all over the chipboard shape, and then I glued those onto the layout as well. And I also added a little bit more splattering of a dark blue mist all over the layout, making sure to preserve my photo. Here's a shot of the tag with our melted Papercrafter crayons with the funky, bold effect that you can achieve. But remember, you can also achieve something much more subtle with a different palette of colors. Here's the layout. I also added a little bit of bling, including gems from June's Firecracker kit, and I called it a day. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and I'll be back real soon with another one using the Color and Creativity add-ons from July's Gypsy Summer kit. If you haven't visited the website where you can get all of these tools from, please visit www.scrapsofdarkness.com. And if you'd like more inspirations from me, I'm regularly posting on my website, which is www.contadinak.com. Thanks again. Bye.